Welcome to our channel. Please like and subscribe.
25 Indonesian phrases you'll hear every day and what they actually mean. If you've ever listened to real Indonesian conversations, you probably noticed something almost immediately. Native speakers do not sound like language apps. The conversations feel faster, more relaxed, more emotional. And sometimes, the literal translation of what they say makes almost no sense at all. You spend time studying vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and then suddenly an Indonesian person casually says a tiny everyday phrase, and your brain completely freezes. Because understanding a language is not only about understanding words, it's about understanding how people actually communicate naturally every single day. The reactions, the casual expressions, the emotional phrases, the conversational shortcuts native speakers use constantly without even thinking about them. And today, you're going to learn 25 extremely common Indonesian phrases that you'll hear everywhere in real life. Not robotic textbook Indonesian, real conversational Indonesian. And more importantly, you'll learn what these phrases actually mean in real situations. So relax, slow down, and let your ears adjust naturally to the rhythm of spoken Indonesian. Halo juga, which in English means hey there or hi. Repeat naturally. Halo juga, which in English means hey there. A friendly, casual greeting you'll hear often. Apa kabar? Kandaka. Jenazan of Jiba. Chapya. It fells. Apa kabar? Jenazan of Jiba. It means the greeting that will sola greeted. Halo juga, which in English means hey there. Apa kabar? Sabort parter. Apa kabar? Sabort parter. Apa kabar? Many changes which looked meat. Papa kabar. And the prefer well-looked meat. Provides it and everything they word. Parter kabar. Chapya sabort parter. Apa kabar? In English, which means hi there. It just looked parter no. Sabort parter. Then compare previously heavy, which in English means hi there. You pay them prop. Shebikas. Then compare previously heavy. Shebikas, sabort parter. Average adjusted by even probably, what it works no. Repeat naturally years. Apa kabar? Which in English means how are you? Repeat slowly. Apa kabar? Which in English means how are you? One of the most common greetings in Indonesian. Nomba. Elvaka. Nomonka. Which in English means how are you? Which in English means how are you? Which in English means how are you? One of the most common greetings in Indonesian. The buck. The buck Pete's. Nomonka. Ne. None. Nomonka. Repeat slowly. Apa kabar? Which in English means how are you? Which in English means how are you? One of the most common greetings in Indonesian. Apa kabar? Nomonka. Repeat slowly. Nomonka. Nggak apa-apa. Which in English means it's okay or no problem. Repeat naturally. Nggak apa-apa. Which in English means no problem. Native speakers say this constantly. Boleh juga, which in English means sounds good or not bad. Repeat it. Boleh juga, which in English means sounds good. A very natural conversational reaction. Aduh, which in English means, oh no, or ouch. Repeat emotionally. Aduh, which in English means, oh no. This tiny expression carries a lot of emotion in Indonesian conversations. Manamka, maka, which in English means, no just. Aduh, which in English means, sounds good. This tiny expression carries a lot of emotion in Indonesian. This tiny expression carries a lot of emotion. Idmostrate. Momomka, which in English means, oh no. Repeat emotionally. Mamomka. Repeat emotionally. Aduh, which in English means, oh no. Think about nanny thing. No, because I must a bit. This tiny expression carries a lot of emotion. Aduh, which in English means, oh no. Repeat emotionally. Mamonka. Repeat emotionally. Maka. Repeat emotionally. Aduh, which in English means, sounds good. Masasi, which in English means, really or no way. Repeat surprised. Masasi, which in English means, really? You'll hear this phrase constantly in casual conversations. Nggak tahu, which in English means, I don't know. Repeat slowly. Nggak tahu, which in English means, I don't know. One of the most useful everyday phrases. Nomonka. Zerengwood. Nomonka. Zerengwood. Tunggu sebentar, which in English means, wait a second. Repeat naturally. Tunggu sebentar, which in English means, wait a second. Very common in daily life. Pelan-pelan, which in English means, slowly or take it easy. Repeat softly. Pelan-pelan, which in English means, take it easy. Native speakers use this often in emotional or relaxed situations. Betul. Masa betul, which in English means, correct or that's right. Repeat naturally. Betul, which in English means, that's right. Very common during conversations. Tepat sekali, which in English means, exactly. Repeat it. Tepat sekali, which in English means, exactly. This phrase helps conversations flow naturally. Tergantung, which in English means, it depends. Repeat slowly. Tergantung, which in English means, it depends. A very useful phrase in real conversations. Aku datang, which in English means, I'm coming. Repeat naturally. Aku datang, which in English means, I'm coming. You'll hear this often among friends and family. Sama-sama, which in English means, you're welcome. Repeat slowly. Sama-sama, which in English means, you're welcome. An extremely important everyday phrase. Nggak masuk akal, which in English means, that makes no sense. Repeat emotionally. Nggak masuk akal, which in English means, that makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. This through 16-4. You can vary effect which summuch the second of the free and stints the conversates. For example, is remote the best in memory? Nggak masuk akal, which in English means, that makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Very common in casual speech. Very common in casual speech. That makes no sense. Maybe this, it's also and well-view noted. This phrase is the Comprehension Pacific. Lumayan, which in English means not bad or pretty good. Repeat naturally. Lumayan, which in English means not bad. You'll hear this phrase constantly. Keren banget, which in English means that's really cool. Repeat excitedly. Keren banget, which in English means that's really cool. A super common reaction among younger speakers. Ada apa, which in English means what's wrong or what happened. Repeat slowly. Ada apa, which in English means what happened. Very common in emotional conversations. This is an emotional interlude. Keren banget, which in English means what wrong or what happened. Repeat slowly. Ada apa, which in English means what wrong. Very common in emotional conversations. Make the different case. For example, this is in the composites. Ada apa, which in English means what's wrong or what happened. Repeat slowly. Ada apa, which in English means what's wrong or what happened. Oh, begitu, which in English means oh, I see. Repeat naturally. Oh, begitu, which in English means oh, I see. A useful conversational reaction. Can help. It's become excellent. Very common was the emotional conversations. A useful conversational reaction. A just become excellent. Ability consider a future of reasons and minute, which in English means what self or I see. A useful conversational reaction. A most between 8 of north word that camera bit itself. Let's know that variability something will be. That he should before that impact on the best. In fact, it's really. A given ability stand repeating me. But excellent would consider of useful to belen. This phase is the combination from supported. Another word, this would ability would left. Very common in emotional conversations. A useful conversational reaction. Exactly, consider of useful to belen. Can help become excellent that camera of it itself. A useful conversational reaction, which in English means what self or I see. A useful conversational reaction. A given ability stand repeating me. This phase is the combination from supported. Maybe this, that we didn't look that very place the emotional going on. A given ability stand repeating me. This phase is the combination from supported. Exactly, consider of useful to belen. For what that variability something will be. A sopa that we didn't clist the response of the time. Which in English means what tenang aja. Which in English means relax or don't worry. Repeat softly. Tenang aja. Which in English means relax. This phrase appears constantly in everyday speech. Nggak percaya, which in English means I can't believe it. Repeat emotionally. Nggak percaya, which in English means I can't believe it. Very expressive and common. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. Repeat slowly. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. Maybe this, gak percaya, which in English means, what care of it itself. A carody which anywhere to literal than method. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. A very natural conversational phrase. A very natural conversational phrase. A very natural conversational phrase. Nanti lihat aja, which in English means, we'll see later. Sebenarnya, which in English means, actually. Repeat naturally. Sebenarnya, which in English means, actually. This phrase gives speakers time to think naturally. Bagaimana kabarnya, which in English means, how's it going? Repeat it. Gimana kabarnya, which in English means, how's it going? A very common casual greeting. For more, kengdam karans. It's stet. It's somewhere. Gimana kabarnya?
Shall nanti, which in English means, see you later.
Repeat slowly. Sampai nanti,
which in English means, see you later. One of the most useful ending phrases in Indonesians. Now let's hear some of these phrases inside a real conversation. Listen carefully. Halo juga, gimana kabarnya? Which in English means, hey, how's it going? Lumayan, tapi agak capek. Which in English means, not bad, but a little tired. Masa sih? Which in English means, really? Iya, akhir-akhir ini kerja terus. Which in English means, yeah, lately I've been working non-stop. Tenang aja, nanti juga istirahat. Which in English means, relax, you'll rest later too. Keren banget. Which in English means, that's really cool. Excellent. Now again, more naturally. Halo juga, gimana kabarnya? Which in English means, hey, how's it going? Lumayan, tapi agak capek. Which in English means, not bad, but a little tired. Masa sih? Which in English means, really? Iya, akhir-akhir ini kerja terus. Which in English means, yeah, lately I've been working non-stop. Tenang aja, nanti juga istirahat. Which in English means, relax, you'll rest later too. Keren banget. Which in English means, that's really cool. Very good. Here's something important. Fluent speakers do not sound natural because they know giant grammar rules. They sound natural because they use small conversational phrases automatically. These tiny expressions are everywhere in real Indonesian conversations. They create rhythm, emotion, flow, and the more you hear them, the more natural Indonesian begins to feel. At first, these phrases may seem small, but together they form the foundation of real communication. This quickly review some of the most important phrases one more time. Apa kabar? Which in English means, how are you? Gak apa-apa, which in English means, no problem. Masa sih? Which in English means, really? Betul, which in English means, that's right. Tenang aja, which in English means, relax. Gak percaya, which in English means, I can't believe it. Keren banget, which in English means, that's really cool. Sampai nanti, which in English means, see you later. Excellent. Now breathe slowly, relax your shoulders, and remember, every time you hear real Indonesian conversations, your brain is becoming more familiar with the natural rhythm of the language. Little by little, these phrases will stop sounding unfamiliar. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll hear someone casually say, Masa sih? Which in English means, really? And instead of translating word by word, you'll instantly understand the feeling behind it naturally. And maybe next time you hear Indonesian people talking around you, instead of feeling overwhelmed, you'll quietly smile, recognize another familiar phrase, and keep listening just a little bit longer.
That was excellent. Please like and subscribe for daily lessons. See you next time.